Greetings to you all. Today we'll go through a topic known as histology. So histology, simply the study of the tissue and the cells. Yeah. But specifically we'll look at the tissues. The topic is from anatomy and physiology for registered nurses, those that are doing diploma, and even those that are doing their BSc. Okay, right. Just want us to go through an introduction about the tissue. Okay, I want to let you know that a tissue is simply a collection of cells, and the cell we are saying that is a body's smallest function unit. Okay, and when these cells are grouped together, that's why you're going to have a tissue. So from a tissue, we can be able to have an organelle. Okay, an organelle, then an organ. Organ, we can be able to have a system. Okay, that's how these things are grouped. Okay. So by introduction, we are saying cells are the body's smallest functional units. They are grouped together to form tissues, each of which has specialized functions. Okay. The study of tissue is called histology. Talks about that. Tissue are grouped to form organs. Organs are examples of organs are heart, stomach, brain. Okay. Organs are grouped together to form system, each of which performs a particular function. For example, digestive system, respiratory system, gastrointestinal system. Okay. Right. Now, what is a tissue? By definition, we are saying that a tissue is a collection of cells which have similar structure and perform relatively common functions. Okay, that we know. The tissue is classified or is being put into 4 types. We've got epithelial tissues, connective tissues, vascular tissues, and nervous tissues. Okay. Right. So we'll look into these types. Okay. Right. So let's start with the epithelial tissues. What is it about the epithelial tissues? So the epithelial tissues have got cells that are closely packed without any intercellular space. They lie on basement of membranes. Okay. Where can we find these epithelial tissues? They are found in the covering of the body and line in cavities and tubes. Okay. You and I must be able to know that the body is made up of cavities. A cavity is more like a space or a hole in which organs are kept, okay, in the body. So we have got the cranial cavity where the brain is stored, okay? Then we've got the abdomen cavity where the intestines are stored. We've got so many cavities. We've got the pelvic cavity, okay, where genitalia are stored, okay? Right. Okay. Then let's continue looking at the location. Okay. Where is this epithelial tissues are found? Okay. They are found also in the gastrointestinal tract. Okay. And the urinary tract where urine passes. They are also found in blood vessels and the heart chambers, okay, of the uterus. Okay. They are also found on the skin and on the glands. Okay. A gland is something that produces hormones in the body. Okay. That's a gland. Now let's look at the function of the epithelial tissues. One or the most important function of the all tissues that we are going to talk about is that they protect the body. Okay. So number 1 function is defense and protect the body organs. Okay. Number 2, secrete gastric juice in stomach. This gastric juice is the one that is used in the digestion. Okay, when the person has eaten something, those things have to be able to be digested. Okay, so now the gastric juice will be able to perform that function through the help of these epithelial tissues that lines the stomach. Okay, and again, absorption of digestive food in the intestine. To absorb, it means that to uptake. Okay, to uptake. Okay, absorb digested food in the intestine. Then again, it removes waste as sweat in skin. Okay, so those are some of the functions of the epithelial tissues. Okay, now epithelial tissues is classified again into two types. We've got simple epithelium and stratified epithelium. Okay, epithelium. So again, simple epithelium can also be called simple epithelial tissues, and then stratified can be called stratified epithelial tissues. Okay, let's begin with the simple epithelial tissues. Okay, simple epithelial tissues consist of a single layer of identical cells. When they say identical cells, they're simply referring to cells that are similar. Okay, so in this simple epithelial tissue, you have to know that they have got just a single layer of the cells, and found on absorptive or secretory surfaces, is divided into three main types. The same simple epithelium is divided into three main types. What are those types? We've got the squamous. Okay, we've got the squamous simple epithelial tissues, the cuboidal simple epithelial tissues, the columnar simple epithelial tissues. The squamous is given that name as squamous because it is flat. Okay, it has got flat cells. The cuboidal is given that name because it has got a cube-like shape. Their cells have got a cube-like shape. Then we've got the columnar because the cells of this simple epithelial columnar tissues have got cells that look like a column. They are therefore called columnar. Okay, right. Okay, so you check there on the diagram. Okay, yeah. So before we even go any further, I would just love to take you back. We said that a tissue is a collection of cells. Okay, and then we've got the types of tissues. We've got the epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and the nervous tissues. So now we are under epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues, we are saying that epithelial tissues are classified into two types. We've got simple epithelium tissue against stratified epithelium tissues. Okay, so we are on simple epithelium tissue. So simple epithelium tissue is the one that we said that it has got the squamous epithelium tissues, cuboidal epithelium tissues, columnar epithelium tissues. So now let's go to the second type of these epithelial tissues. Okay, from there we go to stratified. We said that epithelium tissues have got two types, too many types. The simple epithelial tissues and the stratified epithelium tissues. What are those tissues about? So see, when they say stratified epithelial tissues, they're simply saying that the cells that make up these tissues consist of several layers of cells and of various shapes. Okay, right. So now this has got also some other types of So types of stratified epithelial tissues. We've got stratified stratified squamous epithelium, transitional epithelium tissues, keratinized epithelium tissues, non-keratinized epithelium tissues. Let's look at keratinized squamous epithelium. Okay. What is it? Keratinized squamous epithelium is found on the dry surfaces subjected to wear and tear. It consists of dead epithelial cells that have lost their nuclei and contain the protein keratin. Okay. So the protein that they contain is known as keratin. Keratinized squamous epithelium have got a special protein known as the keratin. Where can we be able to find these keratinized square epithelium? Okay, we've got the skin, the hair, and the nails. All right. Then let's look at the non-keratinized epithelium. What are the non-keratinized epithelium? These are tissues that protect moist surfaces. Okay, when they say non-keratinized, it means that something is wet. Okay, something is wet. It's the opposite way of keratinized epithelium. Okay, so non-keratinized epithelium protects moisture surfaces subjected to wear and tear and prevent them from drying out. These non-keratinized epithelium tissues are the ones that are found in the vagina of a person and in the mouth of a person. The tissues that are found in the mouth or in the vagina of a person, they call them as non-keratinized epithelium. Okay. Where can we find these epithelium, non-keratinized epithelium tissues? In the conjunctiva of the eyes, because the eye should always be wet. Okay, because the eye should always be wet in order for it to survive. That's why we are having non-keratinized epithelium tissues. Okay, and the lining of the mouth and the vagina, like I told you. So transitional, again we go to the other type of stratified epithelium tissues. We've got transitional epithelium. It composes of several layers of pear-shaped cells which are very elastic and have the capacity of dividing themselves. Where can we find this transitional epithelium? Lines several parts of the urinary tract, including the urinary bladder. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's look at. We are done with we are done with the first tissue, with the first tissues type of the tissue known as the epithelial tissues. Okay. Right. Let's now go to. We said that we've got 4 main types of tissues. The body, we've got epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, nervous tissues. Okay. Let's go now to connective tissues. Whenever you hear the word connective, what is it that comes into your mind? To connect means that to link something. Okay. Connective tissues, they are the most abundant tissues in the body. What are the most abundant tissues in the human body? Connective tissues. Connective tissues are more widely separated from each other than in epithelial tissues and in intercellular substances. Okay. Is present in large amount, and that they are grouped in a matrix shape like. Okay. They consist of these cells: fibroblast cells, fat cells, macrophages, leukocytes, and mast cells. Okay. What are the functions of these connective tissues? One of the functions of these connective tissues is to provide support to the body. They also transport materials from one part of the body to another. Materials like oxygen, okay, nutrients. Again, they store energy, okay, glucose, okay, glycogen. When they store energy, they store it in the form of glycogen, okay. And again, they give protection to organs, okay. They also perform the function of insulation. When they say insulation, it means that to cover up something or to heal. In this case, we are talking about healing. So the connective tissues are the body tissues that come to play when a person has injured themselves or when a person has got a cut. They will come and close up that wound. Those are the functions of these connective tissues. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's look at these cells a little bit. So we've got the fibroblast cells. They are the large cells with irregular processes. Manufacture collagen and elastic fibers and a matrix of extracellular material. Functions is that they are active in tissue repairing. Okay, like we've said, when there is wound healing, they are very active. Okay. Then we've got fat cells. Fat cells, also known as adipocytes. 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 These cells occur singly or in group in many types of connective tissues and are especially abundant in adipose tissues. Okay, let's go to the macrophages. What are those macrophages? These are large irregular shaped cells with granules in the cytoplasm. Remember the cell? That the cell was called the cytoplasm?